supports grassroots patriots, and it has all kinds of stuff in it, like rings, coins, t-shirts, tank tops, both in men's and women's sizes, different sort of accessories, even patriotic stuff. Like, look at these sneakers. Don't tread on me sneakers. Those are pretty cool. And door knockers. And look, they even have a Trump phone case, which is really, really cool. So anytime you go to this site, you're actually supporting the grassroots patriot community. So I hope you guys will go to check out libertylaughs.net and see what they have to offer.
All of us coming back. I cannot accept this fade to black, and the thought of the wasted dreams of a nation down on its knees. Is it already over? Tickets to the circus show. If you don't, then you'll never know. Take a stand while you have the time. Drown your fear and keep hope alive. Be the change that you want to see. Be the wrench inside the machine. Is it already over? Is it already over? I don't think it's over.
Good evening, everybody. This is a spontaneous Monday grind stream that we're bringing to you from Small Town Underground. This is completely unplanned. We didn't tell anybody about it, so we were talking earlier today, and we were just laying everything out there, and we both agreed, why don't we just come on tonight and do a show, because there's so many things going on. So with me tonight is the wonderful Antonio Jones from War Room, Georgia. And can't wait. He's bringing out a new episode on Wednesday, and it's going to be fire, as is all of his shows. So as you know, folks know, me and Antonio talk quite a bit, and we're both doing all this stuff on social media. So we figured that we'd just kind of host each other tonight and just kind of lay it out. How are you doing, man?
Man, doing good. Doing good. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff breaking, a lot of things being revealed.
Yes.
Here in Georgia, and they all the way up to the White House, I would say.
You ain't kidding.
So, yeah, quite an interesting last week and a half, I would say.
Yes. And for folks out there who's just tuning in tonight, this is a call-in show. I got the phone up, and I finally got the comments fixed. They're right there. I see Noreen Cantor, one of my heroes, is out there in the comments. And yes, Noreen, we are going to try to break down the mess. Now we're gonna start the show off tonight in Trumpville. We've got a lot of there to cover there, and then we're going to get into the Georgia stuff. So while we get people rolling in, we kind of figure we just break this down, because I don't know about you, Antonio, but you know I'm a big Trump supporter. I voted for Trump in 2016. I voted for Trump in 2020, and I was prepared to vote for Donald Trump and write him in for 2024.
Yep.
If the election were held tomorrow and I knew everything that I know at this moment, I would still vote for Donald Trump. So that all that aside, let's just talk about the craziness that we have seen in this last week, man.
Epstein. Then you got the, you know, Ukraine war, which it's just kind of. I don't want to say it's a chess play, but trying to look at this how Russia would look at it. We're not directly giving weapons or buying weapons for Ukraine, but we're going to supply them to NATO so they can buy them so Ukraine can use them.
Yeah.
Um, um, I don't know, man. I just think this awful. People didn't vote for more war, and Trump didn't campaign on getting into more wars and things like that. And it seems, well, I don't want to say it looks like it's going in a different direction right now, and it just doesn't look good. And I just
No.
believe it's going to have some implications on going into 2026, along with a few other things.
Yeah. So yeah, we back up. Syria. I mean, not Syria. Excuse me. Iran. So we all
Yep.
went through that with Iran, Israel, the whole thing. Oh, Bill Rainey. Hey, Bill. I will call. I'm gonna call you back, Bill. So that's Bill calling in, and he may not know that we're live, but we may call him back for the end of the show. He's always got some interesting to say, but. So we started out with Iran. Things got a little rocky there. We kind of put our trust into what was going on. We dropped the bomb. We don't have to get into all the specifics, right? So
Mhm.
so we kind
It
of
was that whole trust the plan thing.
yeah
You
trust
know?
the plan, and obviously you can look at it from all sides. So we need to attack. We're showing our American might. So yeah, so that kind of worked out where everything kind of it kind of ceased for a little while. We eventually got a ceasefire, and now the Tucker Carlson interview with the I guess the president of Iran.
Hmm.
But then we started going off now to where we were talking about peace between Russia and Ukraine, and yes, like you said, NATO. I saw the press conference today. He's selling all these weapons of war to NATO. NATO's going to give it. It's like what happened there? What parallel universe did we cross over?
Yeah. Oh well,
You know,
hey, you got to sit down and shut up. It's good for the economy.
right?
I was listening to Orange Warrior this earlier today. The guy's quite entertaining, and he was talking about the same thing. But even going back to Iran, they were saying, well, they didn't destroy all the materials,
Exactly.
so they kind of left a few breadcrumbs out there to potentially pull us back into that later on.
Yeah.
We just don't know what the deep state and or what kind of deals have been made, and I know Trump can't lay his whole strategy out there, but he did assure the people one thing is that's what we would not get back into war. And then on top of that, I know I'm kind of jumping around. It's like what's the obsession with Lindsey Graham?
Oh
He's
my
one of the biggest
God.
warmongering, people
Yes.
in the Senate. So that doesn't give make America great again base any kind of confidence.
No. Lindsey Graham. I can't even stand looking at the man's tweets. I know people in South Carolina. I got a couple good friends in South Carolina. I'm like, how are these people still voting Lindsey Graham? Like, is all he's got to do is just be a butt kisser, and he can just say whatever he wants and be this neocon warmonger. It's really crazy to me. It's crazy to me that we live in a country as good as we live in, yet somebody like Lindsey Graham continues to be a representative. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah,
So
I think that this fractures the base a bit because several people with big accounts out there on X and
mm,
any other places. We got called panicking and all kinds of things, and it's like this attitude floating around within the MAGA movement
yeah,
of if you ask questions, then all of a sudden you're against Trump. It's the same thing like with Israel. If you ask questions about what Netanyahu done is doing, hey, he's going to launch an attack on Iran and turn around and call up the United States and say, hey, I think I need you to step in. Oh, but if you say something about that, or say, hey, maybe he should talk to Trump first, and maybe we wouldn't have to drop these humongous bombs or whatever the case may be on them. And all of a sudden, you're anti-Israel, and you're anti-Semite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, look, what are we supposed to think? Look, I'm not. You can say what you want about Jewish stuff and about the Israelis and all this. The what is it? The APAC, all this stuff. What are we supposed to think about how all this is playing out when it's like the narrative continues to be reinforced, And I don't believe that it's like some sort of huge grandiose conspiracy theory that there's this race taking this. But when you see these things continually happen, and the very simple fact that you question them, all right, or it doesn't make sense, like you're like you're studying a math problem, you don't know the answer, so you start, and then all of a sudden you get attacked for even answering that question.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's just reinforces the stereotype there,
It does. It's just like when the reporter asked, the president about Epstein, and it's like, well, no, he wasn't even talking to the president, or they weren't talking to the president, talking to Bundy. And then he butted in, and it's like, you first of all, the FBI, Cash and Dan goes on this tour saying Epstein killed himself, and I mean, just saying wildly crazy stuff that the base already knows that's not true, and it's like you the people that went out and poll watched, that really fought to put the president in there, is like, it seems we feel like there's some type of psyop being run on us, and it's like you sitting there talking to us like we stupid people, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying that the president is saying we're stupid, right, but it's like, come on. I mean, if we ask about Epstein now, let's move on. Nothing, happened to the kids and all of that. The economy is more important,
right?
And I just, like I told you earlier, Roy, and I've been very vocal about this on social media. If we're not going to stand up and have justice and seek justice for children that were kidnapped, trafficked, abused, and some of them even killed, then I don't think we got a country if we don't have the gall to stand up for our children.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Look, I mean, I can say this. Look, first off, Trump is not a messiah. Trump is just a man. Well, our hands are in God. There is no trust to plan. There is God's plan. No matter what, we've seen so much providence this year.
Yeah.
But again, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, I think they're great dudes. They're trying to do wonderful jobs in the FBI, but they made millions. They made their money off of the Epstein list and their podcasts and stuff. I don't get on here and run my mouth about this stuff. I've studied this for years. But to come into this sort of this parallel universe that we're in right now, where it's like, a few weeks ago, if you question Trump and this administration about what they were doing in Syria, well, you lost your MAGA card, and I'm like, whoa. Now we're to this point where, like you said, Trump is coming out and basically berating people, saying, "Are you still talking about this Epstein?" And I'm like, "Are you joking with me?" And what it's done is created that Streisand effect, where all the years and all of the videos and the investigations and everything that people forgot about is now kind of resurfaced. And more than ever, people are questioning this decision. Like, how do you just drop something as big as the Epstein list that was supposed to be your kind of gateway into that golden age, right? And I've heard this one criticism about, like, well, my God, if it's that bad, it's going to, unseat the fabric of our government, and we're going to lose 90% of Congress. And I'm like, okay, well, I know 90% of people right here named Antonio Jones and Doreen Cantor and people like Angela Rubino. They would fill those positions in a heartbeat, and we'd really get some stuff done.
Yeah, so we would. How do we skip? I don't think we can get past this. Like you said, it had the Streisand effect on it. And now if you go and look at some of Trump's biggest supporters or some of the biggest counts, and they are saying something like against revealing the Epstein list or backing off of the Epstein list, you can go and read the comments right now. People are not backing. And this is not bots.
That's right.
These are real people who are putting a point in and say, hey, wait a minute, hold on. You mean we're not going to prosecute and go after pedophiles, and what are we doing here?
Mhm.
You know,
Well, how
and
many
it's like,
arrests have we had?
let, how did we go from such a strong position to like, oh, nothing to see here, hey, go sit down and shut up, we got it. And
Agreed.
I think people have forgotten our position as citizens. The founders, there's a reason why freedom of speech is the first, is the amendment number one, because the people's voice got to be heard, and Trump is just a representative for us. Like Roy was saying, hey, look, I support the president. Roy supports the president, but we're not going to sit around and just get pat on the head and say, hey, go sit in the corner. We got this. No, we got to have equal accountability. It speaks to the same problem that we having in the state of Georgia. We're not going back to sitting on the couch and just saying, hey, the bus driver got it, and I'm just going to sit back. And no, we're going to watch the road, and we're going to say, hey, watch out. You got a car on your left, or you made a wrong turn. That's
right.
our responsibility.
No, you're 100% right. The entire ethos of Donald Trump, for example, not being able to criticize him. Obviously, we know that Trump has been through years of persecution. We've been right there with him. We've fought every step of the way. He's been vindicated on so many fronts. My prayer is some vindication, right? Maybe there's this 5D chess move, which I can't stand, but maybe there's something that we're not seeing here, right? Maybe that there's something going on that's going to tie all this stuff together, and in hindsight, it's like, whoa. But again, we're not attacking Donald Trump. I'm not throwing my Trump card away or anything like that. But obviously, like you said, this is not going to go away. You cannot run a society, you cannot run a proper justice system without the checks and balances, without these people that break the law, right? Getting their due process here. We have not seen any accountability since we've started this administration.
That's right.
I can't think of anything. Now, does that not mean, and I'm not saying the FBI hasn't changed and they're not arresting more drug dealers and cartels, and we obviously love the fact that the borders are now secure. There's a lot of wins in this. But there's also, like I said, this sort of alternate reality we're in, where Donald Trump is the one telling us to forget about this. And it's a hard pill for me to swallow. It really is.
Yeah. I don't think that I think we can do more than one thing at a time. We don't have to just say, hey, we're going to plow forward, and we should fix the economy. That's important. We don't want to be in poverty or, lose the power of the dollar. But it's my belief that the deep state is tied into this Epstein thing. So if we can get to the bottom of that, not only would we be doing right and paying it forward for, the blessings that we want God to put on the nation.
Right.
But I think it's all part of one thing. Steve Bannon says, hey, this is the key that picks the lock, and he says sometime, hey, when that scab come off of that thing, it's just going to be nasty.
Yes.
And I just think we're at that point. We're already living in divine providence, as
Yes.
you always say to me, when we having conversations. We don't have any real control of what's going on. That's what I want people to understand that's watching this broadcast tonight.
That's right.
We have a couple of responsibilities. Number one, that's never to leave our post, and that's to be faithful to what it is of the task that we're supposed to be doing. That's fighting for our children,
That's right.
and fighting for this country, and holding each other accountable. Me and Roy, we talk about this all the time. We could call it equal accountability. We got to have accountability within the party. Look at the crazy stuff that's going on inside of the Georgia GOP right now.
Yeah.
And we've been like a group of crazy people running around looking for a fight, causing problems, and, saying the 2020 election is stolen. Well, hey, those doors literally blew off that convention on the 7th. And I told Roy, I said, hey, this has something to do. It's something to that. I've never seen, in my personal opinion, of what I thought was an evil family. And that's what I told Roy. I've never said that about a group of people. And it's my first time really saying this publicly. But I told him that. I had no idea of the inner workings of what was going to come out. And I know I'm jumping ahead, Roy.
That's okay.
But, we're in divine providence.
That's right.
And
Hey,
we should always stick to what we believe is right. That's the
that's
point
right.
what I'm saying, and never leave our post.
Yeah.
Never leave your post.
So, like Antonio's bringing up, and we are going to jump ahead here. We're not here to bash Donald Trump. I'm trying to get it out of my system. Was gone over the weekend, and I had to sort of do some reflection, on this whole Epstein thing, because a lot of you folks got to understand that I was black pilled way further before I started jumping into politics. So the Epstein list was like a staple of everyday life for a lot of the us rabbit holers, and to have Trump say something like that, and we're never going to shut up about the Epstein list because that was the golden arches. That was what was going to clean the evil clutter out. But
Mhm.
I take this time to reflect, and I'm like, I'm not up here bashing Donald Trump or anything like that. But then you come to find out, we go into this sort of next crazy reality phase where I get up this morning and I'm reading this article from the Daily Mail where Donald Trump was on with his daughter yesterday, basically talking about Butler, Pennsylvania, and saying, "Hey, the Secret Service they just had a bad day," and I was like, "What?" I couldn't believe that. So we got a call coming in, and hang tight. I'm going to mute you for just a second. Just hold on, caller. And I couldn't believe that Donald Trump was basically saying the Secret Service had a bad day and they were just going to leave it alone. He was satisfied. And seriously, I was thinking, you're literally
Yeah.
telling the American people, just forget about Butler, Pennsylvania. We've got all this stuff under wraps. I'm thinking, what if that bullet had been 4 millimeters over a little bit? Would you be looking down going, oh, I'm sorry, the Secret Service had a bad day? Like, we cannot just forget about all this stuff. We the people still don't have answers. We don't have proper investigations. There's so many things that we do not have, and we cannot let this stuff go because that's letting the deep state win, and we can't do that.
It
So,
is, and on to add to your point, I mean that's what he said in that report. That's kind of sound like a parody. I mean, I mean not deep state, but the Secret Service had a bad day,
yeah,
and to this thing with Epstein and even statements like that. How does this make uh, us look or Trump look on the world stage? It's like these other countries are looking at this, probably saying, "Well,
yeah,
now there's a known guy that was running a pedophile ring, abusing children, but I'm supposed to like run in a corner when you say, "Hey, oh, we're going to turn the tariffs up on you. We're going to do this."
right.
It just makes the stature, in my opinion, get smaller and smaller, and these world leaders they're going to stop taking it serious.
That's right.
And I hope that this doesn't happen, but
So
that's
do
just
I.
what it's just what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got our first caller of the night. Caller, go ahead. Hello.
Hey,
Hey, who
hi.
who are we speaking with tonight?
With Denise and Gwinnett.
Denise, welcome to Small Town Underground. You are the first call of the night. This is just a free for all. What's on your mind, Denise?
Everything. Um, hey, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good, just hanging in there.
So I just wanted to call because, oh, with Denise, you're speaking with Denise.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. You got anything
Um,
on your mind?
yeah, I just wanted to thank you for actually having an intelligent conversation.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I mean, look, we
It's just,
go ahead.
it's just one of those things of where we need to be realistic. Um, I think our president's doing a lot of good for our country, but at the same time, I didn't appreciate the comment of, are we still talking about Epstein? To me, that was a slap in the face to the families and the victims who have been sexually assaulted, the families that have lost their loved ones to that. If you've never been with someone who's come out of a trafficking situation, it is horrendous. And to say something so crass and casual, I think that's what really didn't set well with a lot of people in this country. Um, but also, what makes me wonder is the top. the Democrats and the Republicans, everybody's very, very quiet right now.
Very.
And that's scary, right? Because this would have been their prime opportunity to come after him and say, hey, you don't care about the victims, you don't care about human rights or human life, but they aren't. So it makes me question why. I really hope there's something bigger at play here. And dawning back to all of this, I will always side with a victim of sexual assault before I will ever be politically correct.
Right.
Ever. These are human lives. These are babies. These are toddlers. These are children that get caught up in this system through a million different ways. This does go deep. This is so deep. This is so worldwide that I think if we understood fully the capacity of what was happening, and this is just me bantering out, I don't think we could handle it, because I think a lot of the people that we look at and put in these reserves of they're just upstanding individuals aren't as upstanding with their nasty pastimes. And that's what I think it would collapse the FBI. I think the FBI myself should just go away, because I don't know where their checks and balances ever are. They've ruined people's lives over and over again with no checks and balances. I think Kash Patel, and I think that he spoke too soon. I think Bondi spoke too soon. And then they had to walk it back in a very sloppy manner. That makes her look bad. And then when you take Dan Bongino, I don't know what's going on with that. You hear a lot of the stories. He's leaving, he's staying, he's leaving, he's staying. But I think he went up there with a specific task in mind. And I think he's really starting to understand the game of politics.
Yeah.
And I really hope, for the sake of this country, that our president has a bigger understand that he does, obviously, of what's going on. We're only getting dribbles and we're listening to what we think is happening. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because of all the things that I can ignore. I can't ignore human suffering, and I cannot ignore children being abused. This isn't, we're not talking about oil and gas, and we're not talking about bread and milk. We're talking about human lives.
Human lives.
And for people to say, move on, move on. If this was your daughter, your granddaughter, your wife, your sister, and they were passed around like a chess pawn for 5 years and destroyed mentally and physically, would you move on?
Oh, no.
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 So it's so crass to say stuff like that. And like I said, I think our president's doing a very good job, but he's also a human being and he makes mistakes.
That's right.
And people
should be able to be criticized.
Correct. That's the freedom of this country, is being able to question, who's in office, and being able to question what is happening and what's being said and what's being done. We put these people in office. We deserve to have answers. And as much good as I think he does make mistakes. He's human. But some of our people treat him like he's a God figure. And how dare you say that our president didn't do something right? Come on, give me a break.
I agree.
Let's be real.
I agree. And thank you so much for calling in, Denise. Really appreciate your comments.
Absolutely. Thank you for being just real.
Hey, that's what we're trying to keep it here. Thank you. Good night. Look,
you're welcome. Good night.
That was a great call. And I'm going to give you a chance I want you to respond. And I just want to say a couple things. That's what we're trying to do here. If I come on this show and don't try to focus on the truth, if Antonio does the same thing, we don't try to focus on the truth of the matter, right? The objective truth. It's the same thing that happened with the GOP, the convention, all these things. I don't have to come up here and defend anybody, whether it be David Cross or Antonio or anybody. Every person has got their own. They are responsible for their own actions. Okay, I am not in the business of defending people. And when I see people that are constantly being defended and people with armies of people around them that are attacking people, my spidey sense automatically goes off, right? Donald Trump is the same way. Talking about these crazy things, like example, Butler, Pennsylvania. It's no big deal. The Secret Service was having a bad day, guys. Well, guess what? We lost how many people at that rally? Do you think their families just say, hey, they just had a bad day? I don't think so. It's just like Denise was saying. To the people that are affected by this, don't even get me started. Like, we cannot let this stuff lay. Like, I don't care what Donald Trump or anybody says. Bongino, yes, they're the ones that started this to begin with. promising they were going to release it, bringing these social media people to the White
then
House, doing all of these steps.
I would even go far as to say that's the reason why Trump selected and picked these guys.
Yep.
It's because I believe he knew that the people that supported him really wanted to see justice served, or at least a
That's right.
college try to get to the bottom of what happened with this Epstein situation. So that's why he brought Dan and Cash in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say to Dan and Cash, look, you have an obligation to speak truth to power. And see, that's why the establishment, even in the state of Georgia, don't like people like you, don't like people like me, probably don't like people like Denise, and people that are really fighting for truth and transparency.
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's what we're supposed to do. We got to speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable.
That's right.
And when they went on that tour saying, "Oh, Epstein killed himself," and all this other ridiculous stuff that we knew was not real, now we're questioning the whole process.
That's
My
right.
pastors call it, hey, now you're ruining your testimony. When you go out here, you do something and it's blatantly wrong, and now it's like nobody trusts you anymore.
Yes.
And we're not saying we don't trust Trump, but we are supposed to show up and verify and let our voices be heard. That's what
right.
we're supposed to be doing. We don't worship Trump. We're not in a cult, and we're not doing all of that. Like some of these big accounts on X, no matter what Trump do or say, they're like, yeah. And even with the Epstein thing, some of his biggest supporters, again, if you go in there and read them comments, they're getting skinned alive. Because people are not buying that anymore. We just gonna do everything that we told. No, we're not doing that anymore.
Sure. I had to. I'm not a bit ashamed. I had to unfollow Cat Turd. Like he was getting on my nerves, something awful. I'm like, come on, man. Like have a little bit of decency. Of course, X is always that place where we're going to be battling ideas out, and it's going to have the most recent everything. But again, let's talk about the fluoride deal. Alex Jones, I watched the 12-minute video today over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of Justice, all of these chemical corporations are fighting tooth and nail to keep fluoride in the water. Now, I haven't seen any reports yet. That's one thing that's near and dear to my heart, is getting fluoride out of the water. Say what you will. I've heard people say fluoride is great. I mean, for God's sakes, they sell like fluoride baby water. I mean, we know that fluoride is one of the most dangerous chemicals. They used to use it back in the 40s, I think, for to keep bugs, like insect repellent. But how are we to this point where we have a Trump presidency, yet we're having to fight tooth and nail to keep fluoride out of the water? Like I thought that would be a give-in.
It should be there should be a hook, line, sinker. Right. 3 things that should have been hook, line, sinker: the Epstein files, what you're talking about right now. That's what should have been easy, because Robert F. Kennedy had the whole thing laid out.
Well, not yet.
Studies, everything like that. The DOJ should not be stepping in, actually blocking that effort to get the fluoride out the water. And one of the other things that I listed out was this Ukraine thing. Mm-hmm. That should have been easy. Right. 3 easy victories. He already got the border secured and and taken care of. And he should have been. He should be. I would like to see him put pressure on Congress to do the wall or whatever we need to do, so that the next president can't get in there and just be like, boom, and
that's right,
and get us back where we are. That should have been easy, Roy.
Right.
We can't even get that stuff done.
We clamored through the omnibus bill. Everybody, I can't stand Thomas Massey. Rah, 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 rah. We gave him the grace there. Like, how is Donald Trump supposed to? How is he supposed to be held accountable if he's not hearing from people like us? If we're not saying, whoa, man, this is one thing we really care about here. It doesn't mean that he's not doing a great job or whatever, but it means that these things that we've been fighting for years, this is our golden age ticket. It's just like Georgia, which we're fixing to get into. It's just like Georgia, where Georgia's keeping the gates to the golden age completely shut out. And it's like, why? We're having a repeat of 2016, where we had the Republican majority, we had all these people. Now, what is it? Is this whole thing just highlighting to us that the deep state is far greater than we ever known, and they're having to make these deals behind closed doors? I mean,
well, think about this, Roy. What you about the deal aspect of this? You remember when they always had this talk about? I guess this was back in with Obama, 2008. Oh, the banks are too big to fail.
Right.
Well, how different is this situation with this the Epstein? We keep hearing rumblings of people saying, well, it's some prominent people on here. This is gonna crash. So the corruption is gonna persist because these people are too big to take down.
Right.
That's like
Doesn't even make
establishment
sense,
type
does it?
talk. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. It
And we're
doesn't
not saying Trump
register.
is establishment, but that's the same thing that they pull on us every single time. Now we're gonna bail the
Yeah.
banks out instead of saying, all right, dude, you messed up your however they run these bank situations. So we're gonna do like a bailout. So we bailing out the globalists right now. We bailing out the deep state.
Yeah.
We're gonna let them persist, even what they've done to the children and the families.
Yeah, well, you're right. We started out with the dream team. Well, we have Elon Musk, one of the richest people in the world, was there trying to doge the government. So Donald Trump, one of the biggest figures in the world, most pivotal, controversial, say what you will. All right. So who is much bigger than these people? Right? Who are we really protecting here? And why would we protect people that harm children, for God's sakes? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't compute that logic. There's no logic there. If you have to destroy the American Congress, there's thousands of people like you and me that will stand up in a heartbeat that have zero ties to any of this stuff, that will go right in there and vote the way it needs to be voted and do the things that needs to be done, and we can fix it. It's almost like we're damned that we're never going to fix this system, like it's just going to stay a clown show. So Trump needs to be listening and paying attention to us. We're not going to sit on our hands and let these things pass by us.
That's right.
I mean, we had the Diddy case. Remember the sensation of the Diddy case. All of these revelations that were coming out. And the case was hot, and the boxes of baby oil, and it was like the mini Epstein.
They had this big thing going through the media, the helicopters flying. You got the helicopter camera shot, and you got the FBI and all these people converging on his property and all this. Like, this is going to be a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And then what happens? All the case starts getting put in the back of the headlines behind everything else. All of a sudden you find out that none other than Maureen Comey is the prosecutor, the same one in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, the same one that's covered up all these sex trafficking cases. Like a gatekeeper, her father, James Comey, one of the biggest, Trump, you know what I'm saying? Maureen Comey is behind all this. Like, you can't make this stuff up. It's not a conspiracy theory. And then all of a sudden, Diddy's pretty much off the hook. And all of it is just fizzled out.
Yep. They're saying that she added some stuff purposely or something into his case to like either overcharge him or something. Then he'll end up maybe doing a couple of years and then making an appeal and getting out of something crazy like this.
Exactly. Who in the world are we protecting, man?
Well, you got the music. Okay, we got the music industry, Hollywood. So to me, Diddy was the music industry, the Black Epstein. Right. I mean, that's just what it looks like to me. You know.
Sure, and everybody knew it. Man, do you remember the Chappelle Show, one of the greatest comedies shows ever made? And he did it. He did a skit about Diddy, the reality. I mean, it's explicit. But
man, this stuff been floating around with Diddy since 2000. What was that?
Oh man, forever.
Is that old? Like literally since like 2002. People were saying that he was, batting for both teams. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, the Bieber tapes.
I guess it went from one thing to another or whatever,
I know. And it's just crazy to me. I want to know, did we split off into some alternate, like interstellar alternate reality where it's like the same Back to the Future timeline, but it's like the Biff, the casino, the Biff casino, where that's what it feels like right now. I want to get back on track.
Yeah, this I heard Alex and Owen get this analogy. He said this thing with Trump is like, okay, you went to see the Los Angeles Lakers, right? You paid for your tickets, and then you're in the stands waiting for the team to come out or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see the Washington Redskins run out on the court.
Yes.
You're like, man, wait a minute, this ain't what I paid for. This ain't what I voted for. This thing's
Man,
going in a whole,
poor
it's going
Alex.
in a bad direction on some
Yeah,
levels, and that's where we the people are supposed to let our voices be heard to try to get this thing course corrected. It
you
don't
know.
mean we're anti-Trump, but we
Oh
have
no,
a duty and an obligation to hold all elected officials accountable. If we don't do it, then we're derelict in our duty.
that's right. Now thinking about Alex Jones today. Obviously I watch Alex all the time, and Owen and them, Chase, Harrison, all of them. You do the same. And I can see the struggle in that man. Watching him for 20 plus years, he is really struggling right now because he feels like the vast majority of how we all feel. You struggle with this because you are not anti Donald Trump. You're not anti this administration. You're not anti any of this. But at the same time, all of these things that we're being sort of told to forget about, it's impossible to do. And
Yeah.
you're trying to make sense of it in your head, like how could both of these things be happening at the same time? So
Yep. Money for not money for Ukraine, but weapons to be sold for Ukraine to have.
yeah.
Then the Epstein situation, and then what was the other thing I wrote? Then the fluoride.
Oh yeah, yeah. That breaks my heart. Look, I believe in Robert, RFK Jr. I believe he's the right man for the job. Has he done everything that I don't care about this. I don't need 100% of these people. What I need is for them to be on the right track. I believe up until we started seeing Elon and Trump and because we haven't really got a Doge, right? That was a tagline that was a hashtag everybody could use for a little while. We've really not got a Doge. But, same with Bongino and the rest of them. Look, I'm not 100%ers for these people. We need to be on the right track, but somehow or another, this train is like veered way off, and we got to figure out how to get it back on track.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, all
No
right.
doubt.
Well, we've got some people watching. We got some good comments tonight. You guys can call in the show if you want. I think what we're going to do is switch over to Georgia. The
Oh,
Georgia
man.
politics. And Antonio, I want you to lead us into this because there's so much craziness that is going on in Georgia
Well,
right now.
well, hey, y'all tuned in to two conspiracy theorists that's running around looking for a fight, cause problems, and all of this, and
Oh yeah.
believe the 2020 election was stolen, believe the convention was unfair. What did I miss?
Enemies. We're enemies of the state, I think.
Yeah.
Could be.
Basically, enemies of the state. Basically, what we're seeing is a culmination. I've been saying this for at least about 6 months. What's happening in Georgia is what I've been calling the Great Revelation, to where everybody is going to pick a side. And what I mean by that is situations are going to happen and issues are going to come before all of us, and we'll be asked questions about them. And people are going to want to know where we stand on the situation. If you think about what happened in 2020 election, if you go back to what happened to Colton Moore, if you talk about what happened at the convention, if you go and read the comments, and how people are responding, I just believe and I see it happening. People are being put in a position to where their integrity is being questioned, and what side of history that they're going to stand on, and we'll find out who is real.
That's right.
And like I always say, see what you see and remember what you saw. But this is what's happening it's a great revelation in Georgia. And I think this is excellent because this is a parting of the ocean right now.
Mhm.
And you kind of need to know who believes what. It's nothing worse than you go into a battle and you don't understand who's on your side. And that's what we're seeing right now. That part of it, I think, is great. The bad part of this is it's sad to see people who are making decisions for their own personal power, and in my opinion, that are selling out their children and the future of the country. It's
Yeah.
that part that part of it bothers me.
Yeah. I want to say this yet again, and convention has already came and went, but I don't, for the life of me, know how any person out there can say that they are for election integrity or election security, or be at all concerned about the fraudulent elections, yet been a person who campaign for standing vote. I have no problem whatsoever with a standing vote. This was going to be a historic convention to be able to use the paper ballot system. Of course, we know this convention got blocked, and there's a lot of investigating that's going on in this convention, and rightfully so. But again, that great revelation, how on earth can anybody want to do clickers or standing vote or any other thing other than a paper ballot system just to show this state of Georgia? Because I told Antonio, I got sent a 19-minute video clip of another podcast show. I'm not going to mention their names. But there was a very prominent election integrity person on there with somebody else. And for 19 minutes, they discussed not Dominion. They didn't talk about Dominion voting systems. They didn't talk about anything that was really election related much. They basically talked about bread and crumbs and about two different bills that they keep on bringing back up in Georgia. I'm like, this is the ludicrous. It's just insane to me that all of the things that are needed to fix our system in this state are right here in front of us. We don't need to have bread and circus. We don't need to have these breadcrumbs, yet we cannot move forward at all with them. And it's perplexing to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, a lot of people unfortunately have made a career about being just living in the mumble tank, a perpetual mumble tank. What we used to call them in college is like a career student. It's just like no real plan to graduate, and they just keep enrolling in all these classes. And unfortunately, there are quite a few people that don't have any real intentions to actually get to the goal. It keeps putting us in a false belief, and I say us, the base, the people who are really advocating for the middle class, for the future, for our kids, and it's like, oh well, we'll get it next section, or hey, you got to make sure like you're extra nice and all, and I get all that. We want to be respectful, and carry ourselves in a good way, but it's not really gotten us too far.
No, have you heard of this? Was it Blue? I'm trying to look at it. Is it a Blue Bell election seminar? I believe it's happening tomorrow, actually, in the state of Georgia. I was just trying to find the flyer for that. It's Blue something. It's everywhere, actually, and I can't seem to find it. But it's basically where they're going to get into a room somewhere with a bunch of election people and discuss integrity and what they can do different. And from what I'm hearing, it's kind of going to be a joke. I don't know how much you know about it. I
was trying to pull it, see if I could find something on it.
But it seems to me like that the vast majority of the people that are very serious about fixing our election, which is the fix is to get rid of Dominion voting systems. First off, they have to go. We cannot use these faulty electronic systems, and we need to go to a paper ballot system. There's no question about that.
Well, there's a huge economy around probably these voting systems. What was it like? How many $1 million for like some patch update?
Oh God,
more than
60
$10 million. It was something crazy like that.
Trump's talking about. I'm hearing more and more about possible executive orders that will deal with these kinds of things. Now, whether states are going to get involved in it, I don't know. But
that's when they're gonna all of a sudden get old time religion and start telling people, well, they're gonna become real overnight Monday morning quarterback constitutionalists and start preaching to us about how the state legislature is the one that decide the manner in which elections occur.
Right.
And they're gonna stand on it, and they're gonna challenge the president. Mm-hmm. But we can't get the legislature to hardly do what's right. But you said something earlier. And the key word in one of the sentences you said was fix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's a problem, then the government becomes more and more relevant in the minds of people.
Right.
They're not really trying to fix it. I mean, think about the education system. I know Denise, she may still be listening. She's a Gwinnett County resident. Look at this big bloated budget that the Gwinnett County have right now. They're not trying to fix or whatever. They're not trying to trim back any fat or anything like that. They thrive when there are problems. Yep. The economy around problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so this election system um, it's a huge economy around that. You paying for patch
Oh yeah.
updates, and you got all these different
Yeah, what's
printers
the
and all of this other stuff sitting around that you got to move around, and you got to probably pay to get serviced and all this other stuff. I mean, it's probably humongous contracts, even just on the maintenance of these things.
yes. In
You go to
fact,
paper, I mean, what you gonna maintenance? You know, it ain't
yes.
that much stuff that's tied around that you just really depending on the people. We're gonna buy some sheets of paper. We're gonna have some tables, chairs, and probably some ink or whatever. And it
That's
might be
right.
a little bit of digital aspect to it, but it won't be nowhere as near as much as now.
No, in fact, let's see. I'm trying to look at with the election company, the company right here, Enhanced Voting. I'm not going to be able to pull it up because I don't have a screen, but
Oh yeah, I
this is
remember
one
you
thing
and
that Mark
you and
Swanson
Swanson.
brought up.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
look at the solutions. And I had several people that reached out to me and went to this enhanced voting, and they looked at their counties, and all just like Mark had said, all of the same counties. There were portions and precincts that had zero, this bunch of dashes in there. They had nothing in here. And you start looking at this, and you find out how many millions of dollars that they've paid this company. And I think this company's from, well, it's definitely out in the Northwest. But I'm like, we didn't vote for this. We have a Secretary of State in office. We have every single county has a precinct. Every single county has a people that work on the voting systems in their county. Why are we paying these NGOs to handle all this data? We have people that work in data in this state that's uncovered more.
Hmm.
Why on earth are we doing this? And that's just yet another, money pit from NGO that our own state is paying to keep this facade alive. And it's so disheartening. And especially
Yeah.
when you see people, because we're just small peanuts talking here, right? But you see these
Yeah.
people that claim they're election integrity champions, and they'll sit there and run their mouth for 20 minutes about a couple of
Hmm.
breadcrumbs in a bill or two, and not even mention Dominion voting systems. To me, that just screams a red flag. Now, God only knows who's listening to that, but when it's a joke. It's a
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I'm not going to sit here. And I tell you, if Burt Jones will come on this show or come on your show, I'd love to host this person. I don't want to set up and gotcha.
Hey, newsflash: Bert is
Yeah,
not coming on War.
no, and I don't think he's going to come on my show. I am going to reach out because I have a very serious question again, and anybody can answer this for me. But Burt Jones is the lieutenant governor as we speak. He has all the power in the world to come up to the next session with, I know at least 4 legislators, if not more, 5 legislators in both House and the Senate that would sit down with him at a table and go ahead and cut out the income tax, right? Property tax is the sin tax. We all know that. But hey, income tax is a start.
Yeah.
Now, why on earth am I seeing campaign ads for governors telling me that all you got to do is just vote for me and then I'm going to remove the income tax? It may work on the general population, but it's not working. It's not going to work for me. Like, how are you telling me that you're already? That's like, what is that? That's like a house being on fire and you call the fire department. They're like, give me $50 or I'm gonna come tomorrow. Like, what is going on here, Bert? You're
Hmm.
gonna do better than that, man. Like, we're not buying that. You have the
Yeah.
power to do this now, and you're gonna quid pro quo with a vote.
Yeah. Well, that's in my humble opinion, that's the B side of the problem. First off, he just come out and put out something. I guess it was a newspaper clip. He's gonna loan himself $10 million
He did.
to run his camp. Okay, well, he's not gonna solicit the people to support and fund his campaign.
Apparently not.
So that there's some type of a connection of an accountability. I mean, it's like I'm gonna give myself $10 million, but I just need you to just come out and stroke this vote for me. I'm not gonna come out here and just work and till the ground with you, and then I'm gonna convince you that after you vote for me, I'm gonna get rid of the income tax. You
Exactly.
remember when Kamala Harris was like, "Okay, once you vote me into being president, I'm gonna deal with the border." Well, hey, look, you the border czar. Burt
Exactly,
Jones, you're the president of the Senate since how many
dude.
years ago?
Spot freaking
It's
on.
And so it's like now we supposed to believe you that you're gonna do something when you get elected. Well, Senator Colton Moore's been talking about dealing with this state what income tax or whatever, some property tax or whatever. You
Yes.
know more than me, Roy, because he's your rep. But the point is, how many charges have been led by Bert to get in there and do the grunt work to really make this happen over the last X amount of years?
You tell me. Look, Chris Carr is a joke. If anybody out there is watching, if you're a Chris Carr fan like you, he's not going to get any love from me. All right, Chris Carr is what I consider an enemy of the state. All right, Burt Jones is not my enemy. I don't even know a lot about him. I know we had Mac McGregor run for against him. I know he's a very powerful, got a lot of money. But again, this is not going to work on the people. He was supposed to be the champion of Doge in Georgia. He came out and said it. In fact, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, did she not appoint him as Doge? And we had the red tape rollback, and all these things we're following. Well, the red tape rollback, I don't think went in. Doge is now just a laughing stock. We have Doge all over the state. If nobody has any kind of permissions to do anything, unlike Florida, for example, we have representatives right now that are running races in local counties that have these tax plans that are really good. Brian Will, when we interviewed him, man, he had a killer plan for removing income tax that did not shift the tax. How am I supposed to take this guy seriously? And I'm gonna have that conversation. Like, tell me, talk on my level here. Obviously, you brought it up. He borrowed. I can't even borrow $50 to myself. All right, he's borrowing $10 million.
So how do you actually do that? Do you go look in the mirror and be like, "Hey, I need to borrow"? Tell you, hey, talk to yourself in the mirror, Roy. Say, "Hey, Roy, I need to borrow $50."
Exactly. All these guys they're borrowing money to themselves, and I'm like, that's a weird terminology to me because usually, if I'm gonna borrow it, I ain't giving it back. But
and then after me this question, I want to spend a lot. I might not want to spend a whole lot of time on this. Why should the state of Georgia have to even have Doge itself? We got Republicans, we got the moral high ground and all this other stuff. We did Georgia the best place to do business or whatever the case may be. But by the way, we got some type of bloated budget going on, and we got $16 billion of the taxpayers' money held hostage right now. But why do we even need a Doge when we got Republicans running the place? And I'm not saying we shouldn't have transparency, but this thing should be running like a sewing machine right now, and all the fat should already be trimmed off for the amount of time that Republicans been in charge, in my opinion.
Yes, make it make sense. You said it. We got Republicans in every part of the government, from federal to state here. We have a state below us that I believe now every single county in their state is now like Doge certified, and all of these things are happening. How in the world? If you don't want to be called a rhino, if you don't want to be called establishment, why do we keep doing these things? It doesn't make any sense. But you and me are the extreme for asking these questions. I am certain, because I have reached out to Burt Jones. I'm certain that somebody's told him, hey, man, this guy's criticizing you. When it's not even really a criticism. It's a serious question that needs to be answered. I mean, ain't no way I'm going to do a quid pro quo. If I had the power to fix these things, I would have already fixed them. Same with going back to the Epstein list. Get the people out. I don't care, because we got 50,000 people that will take their spot and fix it. It's disheartening, man. Bert's going to have to do better than this for the people. That's all I'm saying. Our faith is so low.
Well, he gonna do it when you vote for him. He can't do it this coming session, and he couldn't do it the last however long he's been in there, 2-3 years, whatever.
Right.
He's gonna do it next time.
Next
time. We keep hearing the same next time talk
all the time. What is it gonna be in 2030? Well, we're gonna do just vote for me for my second term in 2030, and then we'll do away with your property tax. But for the meantime, just keep paying them while they go up and up and up, and you lose your property.
So is politics just become a bone for the
I don't know.
America first and middle class people to just chew on while you got data centers going up over here. You got
Yes.
farmers that can't even farm their land because there's so much pressure on them. It's hard to farm, so then they end up having to sell off their property, and then they gonna have construction on to have condos
Right.
going up all over the place.
I'm
It's
telling
just
you.
it just seemed like politics has just become not really a distraction because we have to be engaged, but just kind of like the bone to chew on while the chamber and all these other places is sitting up cutting up the steak and feeding at the trough for our tax money.
Yes. And again, you talk about the people that hey, if you've been in this game a long time, kudos to you. All right. I have seen we have seen this whole stair stepping, clawing at the table type stuff. That's fine with me. But if you want to sit back and criticize people like Antonio or myself for, oh, you haven't been here, you haven't done enough. Look, I wouldn't be here right now if the Republican Party was abiding by the principles and doing what they were supposed to be doing in the first place. Okay? If it wasn't a uniparty establishment, we would not be here in the middle of all this being the troublemakers we are. But this is where we're at, folks. And I'm telling you, I can't bring myself to be like dumb myself down to that level. Like, oh yeah, I ain't got nothing. These people ain't got nothing on me.
All right, so the convention, the Frost family,
Ah,
and all
yes,
that.
bring it. So we're going to the Frost family.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Now let me just go ahead and say something about the Frost family. So I've only met. I think Brant V is the older one, right? Yeah, I met him one time. Katie Frost looked at me at the convention when it was over, and if her eyes had daggers when she was going by, I think she would have stabbed me. I would have died. Don't know the
Man
mom or
down.
whatever been around her. The son, been around him a couple of times. Probably don't jive. And wow, what a story! The Frost family that is just taking over this state. $140 million Ponzi scheme, right?
Yep.
So Liberty National, I believe, and they were selling. I don't want to get it wrong here. Not Patriot notes. Anyway, they're doing the bridge loans. They've been doing it. I think it started in somewhere around 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they were the culprits behind a lot of things that was happening in the GRA that a lot of people were upset about. They were single-handedly picked to, control the convention. We saw the videos, the microphones, blocking the microphones, the turning them off, real snooty comments about how they politic better than everybody else. And then the Providence opens up a month later where the FBI goes into their Liberty National, shuts the thing completely down. And so now they are in some sort of a, what was that called?
It's First Liberty Building and Loan, a consent decree.
Yes, a consent decree. That's where they're at now. So they basically, I think, said, we're going to settle this. According to, I think it was Kylie Kramer's post today on it, which Kylie was,
I'll find it.
Yes, you find it.
All right.
So she laid it out what all this means.
Okay, here it is. Said breaking Brent Frost, I guess the fourth, has entered into a consent decree with the SEC in the $140 million Ponzi scheme. The first payout of $34,733.64 was to a law firm. Well, guess who the law firm was? Chalmers, Adams, Backer, and Kaufman.
Yes.
By the way, Alex Kaufman, I guess, is partner in this, and he is the attorney for the Georgia GOP, I believe.
Yes. So obviously the GOP is involved in this. I know they're all friends. Look, I'm not here. I'm not here to berate the Frost family because I don't know these people. And believe me, the stories that I've heard over the last couple of years, and I try not to judge that book by its cover. I also don't have a relationship with these people. I do know that there was an army of people that were both for and against his family. But the simple fact of the matter is that after all that we've seen and witnessed coming through this convention, and especially how some of us are treated, right, for thinking outside of this box, for this objective thinking, and the attacks that we've taken, because I like David Cross, always have, regardless if people hate him or not. But, do I think that David was going to be the end-all, be-all? Absolutely not. David Cross, if he was elected, was going to be the person that was going to have to do what he said he was going to do. I have no problems talking about. I don't care about Josh McCoon. My point about Josh McCoon is you take the person out of the situation, and what did we accomplish in the last 2 years of the GOP? Because everybody will sit there and tell you how important 2026 is.
Mhm.
But then you go back and look at the past and be like, well, what did we do to anyway? I mean, Trump Force 47 was going to happen regardless. Now you tie all this in. How are we going to move forward? Well, obviously we see now that with this Frost family crazy Ponzi upset, a lot of people are affected by this, and it is, I believe we're going to see more and more come out.
Yeah. And some people probably honestly, of course, everybody's been impossible for everybody to know that they were doing this. So
Sure.
we're not, throwing those people up underneath the bus. What probably may be a good idea. I mean, I wonder if people are going to come out and make a public statement, and I guess and be ready to return these funds. I guess in the court system, it's called a receiver or something like that. Whatever that process is to be able to get this money back into the right hands. But I'm really curious to see what the chatter will be from those people who have received any type of financial contribution from the Frost family, and what they'll have to say about the victims, and even maybe what their thoughts and process is on what the Frost family did. 'Cause I think that's important right now. I think it's very important.
I do too. And Bill,
I think it would be wise too for some people if they feel like that's what they need to do.
all right, we've got Bill on the line. Bill, just hold on for one more sec. We'll finish up this segment. We'll get right to you. So, 100%. Again, it's very important what happens now in the near future. We're gonna see this consent decree play forward. Yes, there's a lot of people that got money. There's some statements that need to be made. Obviously, I believe that we're going to have to sort of, especially when you tie into people in the past and what has happened. We're going to have to get away from this Frost situation and any sort of capacity of leadership, right? And then, I've seen a couple of positive things. The Peach Pundit reported today that the Georgia GOP is going to obviously audit. Who knows what kind of audit it's going to be. But they're supposed to be taking any money that was accrued for the Frost and giving it back to this case so people can reclaim some of their money. We've already talked to people. Of course, the craziest part is Gabe Sterling and Brad Raffensperger coming out with a post saying that everybody should return the money. It's like, take advice from those two. I mean, obviously I don't disagree with them, but it's just funny coming from them like, hey, guys, you should do the right thing, because that's the pot calling the kettle black. But again, this is not just small potatoes. I mean, this family evidently was really, really tied into a lot of different things, and ripping people off like that is just not a good thing. This is what I live for, to fight against those things, right?
Yeah,
and it's going to be huge. I'm sure we got some comments on that, but you got anything else to add to that? Anything I've left out?
Yeah. No. I mean, it's a sad situation for those people that were taken advantage of. It's just it's never good when something like that happens, because maybe some of those people, maybe that's what their life savings or what have you. And the silence on this, as far as
Yes.
the party wise,
Deafening.
really bothers me. But a lot of these people who have not come out and had anything to say about what's happened were the same people at the convention who had nothing to say when people's voices were silenced, not recognized by the chair that day. And it's it's very it's I don't want to say it's troubling because we're not victims, like people like me and you. So I don't want to sound solemn about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not good. But we'll be blamed for like the we're gonna be the cause of 2026.
Mm-hmm. Of
But again,
course.
divine providence, like you always say, if this had a never happened
Oh,
with
yes.
what's happening with the frost, and then 26 go down the tube or whatever, we would be people like us would be blamed for what went on because nobody really that would I won't say nobody believed us or what happened at the convention, but this has shined a whole nother
Oh,
light
yes.
on the situation because I asked Brent Frost myself that day about the clicker. I said, man, I just pressed this button. I have no idea where my vote is right now at this point in time. Oh, well, you can go behind the curtain, and they can show you, hey, this is the number on the back of here. Man, this is an electronic device. I don't know if this computer cheating, and I didn't tell him that, but if we had the paper ballots like Georgia for Truth prepared for, there would be no question
And no
about it.
question.
And it's not about who won or lost. It's
Yeah.
about the process, respecting the process, and having something that was able to be audited by everybody. So when we left that room that day, everybody knew within a shadow of a doubt who was the winner and who was the loser.
100%. And I'll go that I'm going to go a little bit further with you because, and then Bill, I'm calling you back. A lot of, I'm not going to say all, but there was many people that were sort of the gatekeepers of this Frost family that came out and attacked people for having a different set of opinions, thinking differently. And that's where that silence is deafening to me, is because the same people that wanted to berate, and they're the ones that drew these sort of enemy lines, are the ones that are being very quiet about this and kind of pretending like it doesn't happen and pulling they were just having a bad day. And I'm like, whatever, man. Look, it's not the fact of being right or wrong. It's the fact that a lot of people got ripped off, and that maybe this family was, maybe they were con artists. I don't know, but we have got to clean our own house first. We're not the Democrat Party where we just corral all of the filth and the crap in there and just let them take over.
Yeah.
We want good, God-fearing, real people that have no strings attached to be running these parties and doing the right thing. We don't want people on people's payroll. We don't want people beholden to other people. It's the only way to move forward to get this fixed. That's it.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and call Bill, and I think we'll get the comments, okay? Hello, Bill. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, I think you started covering. I was in delay and I couldn't hear things very well. I think it's got everything muted in the background.
All right, you're
But,
good now. What you got?
well, it was just the whole thing of seeing Raffensperger and all them coming on there making all these statements about asking all these victims to call in, but then asking those who receive money to return the money.
Mm-hmm.
How do you return money that's probably already been spent?
Well, that's true. And coming from those folks, it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? But it's like, yeah, you're true, but why are you even jumping on this bandwagon? Like you can't even handle election security for the state of Georgia. You're like a shill. Gabe Sterling is like a little runaway dude that tries to deflect. Why are you even involved in this, bro? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, the thing that I believe they got involved in because they were forced to be involved in it by the FBI.
Probably.
Their for their part in what they have to do for their filings and their paperwork is part of their job.
Yeah.
I mean, which is just like, man, this is getting crazier by the minute.
It is. It's clown world, and we're living right through it. And who would have thought a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, that we would be even talking about this? It's wild.
Yeah.
So
that was it. And y'all started covering it, and I
Okay.
wasn't hearing everything, so that's the reason I kind of hung up so I could try to catch up with what y'all were saying.
all right. Well, thank you. Thank you for calling in,
Thank you.
Bill.
Thank you.
All right, man. So let's go to some comments. And Antonio, we've got a ton of comments. So if you're pull them up,
Oh, okay.
we won't be able to read them all, but we're going to go through them.
Let me see if I can find them on my side right here.
And Noreen's with us tonight. Can you really make sense of this mess in Georgia? That was our first comment. Thank you, Noreen. And no, it makes my brain hurt all over. Like, again, I feel like that I've seen stranger things. Like we went to the upside down world for a minute, and I'm trying to get back through that hole in the ceiling and get back to the right side, and that's everywhere. 24 hours, 48 hours, everything's going to change, be different, and it wears me out. So let's see. Oh, William Blake McMillan is with us tonight. Good to have you, William, from Savannah. Man, he's great. He's on fire. He is on fire. Thank y'all. Denise Rumbaugh, thank you. Oh, that must have been Denise that made the call. So
yeah.
Cool. I think this is the first time. I don't know if I've ever spoke to her before, but she's fire too. So Angela Rubino is one of our state committee members. Yes, Angela does. She says we need more Roys and Antonios in this world. I think we need more Angelas in this world.
Oh, but hold on, Roy.
Okay.
Right, go ahead.
Real Viking dude. That's my boy right there.
Real Viking dude that showed up.
Yes.
Hey, William Blake McMillan said the frost has thawed.
Yeah, Georgia's being defrosted. And I laugh, but again, the whole situation is sad all around. If I was the frost, I mean, it'd be hard for me to live with myself. All right, well, we got another call coming in. We're going to go ahead and accept this really quick. All right, Janice, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Go ahead.
I have a question. I've been watching closely. We know now that the frost's doing great. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, the conversation is playing back. The frosts are crooked. We know that they're scammers, and they shouldn't be leading this party and getting fund of it. So why aren't the other members of the party or the other Republicans that voted this
Okay,
uniting and demanding answers and changes in the people that
now, Janice, hang on one sec. You cut out there when you started to ask why. So go ahead and ask your question again.
I'm trying, but the conversation is on.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
now I can hear you. Okay, we had a bad connection.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Why aren't we all and everybody uniting together to have them sit down away from the party? Can you call me back, because the conversation just keeps replaying on my phone and we can't hear each other.
I got you. And Janice, go ahead and just if you'll put it in the comments. Oh. I think what Janice was saying was, why isn't everybody uniting against the frost to remove them from the party, right? That's pretty much what I think. And hopefully, Janice, just put it in the comments for us, because we did have a bad connection. So, you got any thoughts on that? I mean, it's hard to get anybody to unite on anything, right?
Oh, man, you talk about herding cats.
Well, I mean, I think it speaks for itself, the fact that the state body voted for these resolutions, and the first thing that Josh McCoon did was say, we're not going to do them. That to me is, and was it Denise Sorkness? I think she's making some progress with her resolution. We're not getting anything on the John Burns resolution. So, I mean, this is going to be a dividing factor, because you got a lot of personal relationships with these people, and it's a sad situation. So, I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, I'm speculating, but I have heard that at least one of the Frosts has resigned from their GOP chair position. There's one of the Frosts that's working as a finance auditor for the GOP. I mean, that's kind of sketchy if you ask me, but Lord, we can't get anybody to unite against what color a yellow school bus is. So
I know, man. I know. And that was
Uh,
in this past cycle for a convention was a perfect opportunity to
yes.
put forth a plan. Well, Cross had a plan.
Mhm.
I don't know what in the world Josh's plan was. Put forth a plan, some principles of the direction and why we are fighting for different things that would be on a GOP legislative agenda proposal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't done. And then if we can get a buy-in, that's what Trump did.
Mhm.
Some stuff he's waffled on, it seems like lately, but that's what he did. He
That's
put
sweet.
forth a plan and he's done some great things. And
Yeah.
we just had an opportunity to come into the fold and do the same thing. And then we can get out of this. I can't stand this personality thing.
Hmm.
Let's get into some principles and say, you know what, I like that. I think I can see my kids, and my grandkids to be able to come up and do this, and this will make it better for their future
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. We're just not hearing that. Everything has
No.
become about now and what I can get now and what this politician here can get now and what they can give me. Oh, when they get in, they're gonna help elevate me. And
Hmm.
look at this. This is what it bothers me about Bert, because you loan yourself $10 million. That's like a big, in my opinion, you know, um, a big finger to the
Yeah.
people that's supposed to support you and get behind you on some levels. It's good that you got the money, but what's going to be the point of contact of engaging
Hmm.
of engagement?
Yeah, you got the richest man in the world who helped out Donald Trump by. Remember those mailers they did? They started up that big pack where people got out on the street and they was getting $50 and stuff. I mean, I did a couple of them and got them for the show. I mean, again, who are you talking to? I'm not. I don't think you're judging him. I'm not judging him. But again, is he speaking to the people? Josh McCoon, I'm not trying to pick on the man. All he had to do is pick up the telephone. He already saw the Georgians for Truth. He could have picked up and called any one of them guys, Sam Field, anybody, and said, "Hey, tell me what this is about. What are you trying to do?" And it could have been just that simple catalyst that would have brought paper ballots to the convention, and you would have quashed so much of the contention there to begin with. People would have walked in and walked out, and you wouldn't have had half of the bull crap that you had.
Well, I think would have got the attention too of the president.
Yeah, yeah.
Be like, hey, the Georgia GOP state convention, they did paper ballots. Here's to the chairman.
Yep.
Here's what he had to say about the process. Hey, this was great. Here's some areas we got to work on and we can improve.
That's right. Yeah,
None of that.
every time I see that Stacey Dorn video where you got the Debbie Dooley like doing the cry thing, and you got that Travis guy standing behind her, it makes my blood boil, And man, oh man, oh man, you imagine if you had Stacey Dorn as a legislator. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
imagine if she was up there or even down in the state in the Gold Dome. Can you imagine what you could get done with like Stacey Dorn's everywhere? I mean,
So
amazing.
Rebecca said everyone really needs to research what the function of a clawback is. Serious business, and I predict this will lead to indictments and prison time, thus reaches naturally into many spectrums. The 700 Club, Pat Robertson, uh, Speaker Mike Johnson, and so many. So what was her comment? Sharon Holland says she's watching.
Oh, love Sharon. Thank you, Sharon.
Let me see who else. Richard Schroeder.
Oh,
I
awesome.
know he can
Awesome.
come to the legislative meeting tomorrow in room 341. I got to work, Richard.
Yep.
I sure hate that I can't make it.
I know. And thank you for going because Richard, you're an awesome, awesome person and
He is. He
man,
always show love, man, and help me out and make contributions to what I'm trying to do with War Room and everything. I appreciate it, Richard.
I got a caveat here. I don't know if she'll do it, but Kylie just sent something in. You want us to
Yeah, call.
let's call Kylie and let's talk to Kylie for a minute, guys, and see if she'll answer and she can give us a little bit of update. So here we go. Here we go. If she don't answer, that's fine. Let's just see if she will. She may be busy.
Yeah, I guess she
Hello.
might be.
Hi, Kylie. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. You are live right now in Small Town Underground. Is that okay?
That's totally great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we're here with Antonio. We're just chilling. We started off talking about the wild, crazy, different dimension we're in with on the federal level, and so now we're just kind of finishing up in comments. So, you had some pretty fire stuff today. You want to just kind of catch us up?
Yes, and I want to tell you, I just sent you and Antonio a tweet because I wasn't able to listen to the whole show, but I just got some more information out, and so I wanted you guys to cover it.
Okay.
And previously, I tweeted out on Saturday that Brant the Fifth resigned from the Coweta GOP. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and read you the tweet that I just put out because that apparently was not accurate or the full story. Okay.
Okay.
So Brant Frost V did not really resign as chairman of Coweta GOP. Brant V wanted to just take a step back as Coweta County GOP chair, but not indefinitely resign. In fact, he wanted to remain on the Coweta County GOP bank accounts. So on July 11th, the Coweta County GOP Executive Committee held a Zoom meeting and voted 4-3 to remove Brant V from all bank accounts. The next day, on July 12th, at the full Coweta County GOP meeting, First Vice Chair Alan Brady told members that Brant was simply stepping back, which we all saw in the video, right?
Okay.
But what he failed to disclose was the vote that had taken place, or even that a meeting had taken place the night prior, and then he declared himself as the new acting chair. No questions were allowed, no transparency was given. The meeting was abruptly shut down after they had another guest speaker that spoke on a completely unrelated topic when most of the people were there to talk about the frost. Even more troubling was the Coweta County GOP website was then quietly updated to remove Brant Frost as chair. The Coweta GOP treasurer, Jennifer Webster, was silently replaced with acting treasurer Ben Parsons. Members were never informed of the treasurer swap or of the vote regarding removing Brant Frost V from the bank accounts. No explanation was given to anyone on why Krista Frost still sits on the committee as second vice chair. And here's even more kickers. Look at the screenshots attached. Brant's personal cell phone number is still to this day listed as the contact on every single page of the Coweta County GOP website. The listed address on every page, it's the same as First Liberty Building and Loan, the Christian bank seized by the federal authorities at the center of a $140 million Ponzi scheme. And listen, I know it's not really a bank, but that's kind of what they branded themselves as, this Christian bank. Control of the Coweta County GOP website, only Brant V has access and is refusing to turn it over. The now former treasurer is telling people that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, except that First Liberty and Brant Frost IV have already legally admitted to the $140 million Ponzi scheme to the SEC in a consent agreement. And now, in one of the most egregious moves yet, the Coweta GOP website was also updated with a statement by Brant Frost V without directly signing his name, insinuating that he is being targeted like President Donald J. Trump and asking people to reserve judgment. The Coweta County Executive Committee also only has 6 voting positions, but there was a vote that took place with 7. How does that work? This is the bottom line. The resignation was deceptive, and a clear answer has not been given if Brant's resignation or step back is permanent or just until the dust settles. The treasurer swap was done in the dark. Is something going on with the Coweta County GOP finances and the former treasurer that was silently swapped out, concerned about her legal liability possibility? Brant Frost V is still running the show behind the scenes, including sole control over the website and all his contact information. Krista Frost is still on the committee as Coweta County GOP second vice chair. And the Frost, as we all know, are now raking in $20K a month while their assets are frozen according to the consent agreement. So seriously, what the hell is going on in Coweta County? It's time for full transparency, bylaw enforcement, and an end to the Frost backroom grip in Republican politics. Now, I will go post the link to my tweet so everybody can see this and they can see the screenshots. But I went back and went to
I was able to pull it up.
Machine. You did? Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to read you one more thing, which is the statement that Brant put on the website that he has control over.
Okay.
The Coweta County Republican Party respectfully asks our members and the public to allow due process to take its course regarding the situation surrounding the family business of our chairman. Doesn't say past chairman. Want to point that out.
Okay.
Just as President Trump faced many legal challenges that received media attention without all the facts being brought forward, we ask that the investigation be allowed to continue without speculation or prejudice. Our commitment to upholding the values of fairness, transparency, integrity, and accountability are unwavering and will continue to be the foundation of everything we do. Now, he's the only one who could have written that because he's the only one who has access.
Wow.
And he didn't say former chair or past chair or recently resigned chair.
Right.
He says our chairman.
What do you think this is, Kylie? Obviously, I want to say, of course, innocent till proven guilty. I get it, and of course, we have this consent decree. But again, like, what kind of hubris is it to continue? Like, what is this sick fascination with the power that we're seeing here? Like, why not just go ahead and resign and just get things right? But it's just continue to claw and keep the seats. I don't get it.
I don't either. And Antonio, what's the phrase that Steve Bannon says? And he says, these are the literal screams of a dying regime. What is it? What does he say?
This is the primal scream of a dying regime. You hear me? She probably can't hear me.
Antonio, are you there?
Yeah, he's there, but he can't hear you. I don't have my equipment set up for them.
This
But
is the primal scream.
the primal scream of a dying machine, right?
Dying regime.
The
A primal
scream of
scream.
a dying regime.
Yes.
And I mean, it makes me think of that, right? I mean, on a much smaller scale. But it's the same thing. These people act unhinged when they feel like their power and their control over things and over people is being removed from them. And, you know, all of their assets have been frozen. Their bank has been seized. Their First Liberty building and loan has been seized. They've admitted to this $140 million Ponzi scheme. First Liberty and Brant Frost 4 have admitted to this.
Right.
Brant Frost works at First Liberty and is interchangeable with the dad. And that has come out in multiple media reports that they were interchangeable with the day-to-day business. And Katie Frost was the director of community impact since 2022, where she oversees 7 figures annually being donated to philanthropic and political causes. So she, again, is a part of this too, because this money that they were giving away, over 7 figures annually to these different political and philanthropic causes, was stolen money. It was other people's money that she was giving away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, obviously innocent until proven guilty. We're all still waiting on all the facts, but they have admitted to these things that they've been going on.
Yes.
They're just trying to only place the blame on Brant Frost 4. Right. And that's just simply by their own statements. We can all see that that's not true. I don't know where all of this is going to lead. I think that we're going to continue to see a lot of kind of power plays and trying to struggle to remain relevant and to not take blame or ownership or accountability. And I also think that there's a lot of questions that need to continue to be asked about the Georgia GOP. Why are they not speaking out? Why are they not calling for Katie, Brant, and Krista's resignations from any Georgia Republican Party leadership role?
Well, you can't forget that the Brian K. Pritchard was removed from the Republican Party for being a felon, even though the vast majority of people that I know that voted for Brian K. Pritchard knew he was a felon when they voted for him, but that was going to be detrimental to the election integrity. So this is a little bit bigger.
Ask her where
you know, people keep saying that, they can't do anything Georgia GOP can't do anything about the 3rd district and about Coweta County. That has to be done within the county. And, you know, according to the rules, I agree. I'm not saying that that's incorrect, but he can still publicly call for their resignation and make it known that he believes that they need to resign. Well, and secondly, Katie was just appointed to the newly formed GOP Finance
Oversight Committee.
He can remove her and strip her from that committee and title right now.
Right. And so
he appointed her.
Antonio's got a question. I'll have to tell. Go ahead, Antonio, and I'll tell her.
No, I was going to ask her that. What? Yeah, y'all was saying this, but where's the parishioner, Josh McCoon, who had the moral high ground to remove Pritchard. When he went on the Shelley Winter Clown Show,
Right.
and called for that resignation. You remember that?
Yes. So he was talking about how Josh McCoon went on the Shelley Winter Show, and he was the parishioner and asked for Brian K. Pritchard to resign publicly. You know, where is that happening now, right? I mean, I did not expect there to be this consent decree this soon anyway. I figured once this all came out, we were going to have to wait on the FBI. And then, of course, what is the SEC releases the statement saying, yes, this is a Ponzi scheme. That was quick. And now all of a sudden there's a consent decree. So it's moving a lot quicker than I thought.
They might be trying to get this process going so they can wash it out quick. I don't know.
Yeah. And he was saying they might be doing this to get it washed out quick. What are your thoughts, Kylie?
Okay. A couple of things. I guess the first is I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, but you know, obviously there's a difference between the SEC charges that are civil.
Right.
There have not been any criminal indictments or charges thus far, but it's expected to be coming from everything that I'm being told. And so we'll have to see how that plays out. I suspect, kind of like what you just said, Roy, of, you know, we thought it was going to take a little bit longer. And I think that that's probably the way that it's going to play out with the criminal indictments. Beyond that, I think that, in my personal opinion, it kind of seems like Brant 4 is falling on the sword, so to speak, and trying to make this a smooth process for his family and to save them. And by doing so, they can keep their, you know, affiliation with the Republican Party and their leadership roles and all of these things. And they're not really, I mean, you know, he says he's sorry for all these things that he did. But if you're really sorry, then the first step would be admitting that you did something wrong and taking accountability, right?
I read a report that said they were taking money for this Liberty loan even up until like the 10th, 12th of June. So they were still actively taking money before this. I mean,
absolutely. And I will tell you that I've been contacted by investors from all over the country, including, I mean, even tonight, a new investor reached out to me. And I'm talking with all of these people. I'm sure that they're going to come forward with their stories at some point, you know, and I'll let them do that, or when they want me to release stuff, or however it works. I'm just trying to be supportive, and we're all trying to find out information. They, many of them were horrified when they saw the consent agreement that I sent to them last night and this morning. And I mean, their first reaction was, so the first people that are getting paid out of all of this are the Frost lawyers. And those same lawyers happen, and they happen to be the same lawyers for the Georgia GOP. What is going on with that? Who worked that sweetheart deal?
I mean, I'm telling you.
And then beyond that, you know, they're getting $20,000, or Brant 4 is getting $20,000 a month. You know, I went back and I did some research about Bernie Madoff and how kind of all that went down. And I wanted to see if they granted him a bank account and gave him access to, you know, X amount of monies until all the legal proceedings wrapped up or he went to jail or whatever. And no, they did not. He did not have access to anything. And then eventually there was a payment of $2.5 million given only to his wife once she was kind of cleared of things, you know, and they said that she didn't have a role in all of this. But it was a one-time payment, and it was basically like, go live the rest of your life on this. And I think that that was probably something that he worked out of sympathy and knowing that he destroyed so many people in his family. Now, I think it's very weird. Why is he getting access to $20,000 a month? I mean, that's $240,000 a year. That's a lot of money. That's not just grocery money to get by.
Right. Yeah, that's a hefty amount. So, obviously like I said, this just gets exponentially more public and open each day. Where do you what do you see in the near future, and what are we going to do in this state, Kylie?
Well, I think the first thing is that we, again, need leadership from the Georgia GOP. Even, like I said, if it's just public statements calling for resignation of the Frost family from all leadership roles, in addition to wanting to ensure integrity within the Republican Party and to assure Republican voters that the Republican Party does not have any role in this, nor are we condoning it. Because right now, the lack of anything being said, it kind of lends to complacency or complicity. And what does that say to the, over 300 investors of First Liberty who have been defrauded and scammed? And many of them are Republicans, if not all. I mean, I haven't spoken to everybody, but many of them are Republicans, and some are in our own Republican Party here in Georgia in leadership roles across the state. So what is that saying to the victims that, have been targets that were preyed upon by the Frost family? The other thing that I think is really important that needs to be addressed is that Brant Frost 5 was using the Georgia GOP delegate list to reach out to people with First Liberty information on it. Josh McCoon was aware of that, and he never did anything about it. That is very alarming, because obviously Republican conservative Christians were targeted and preyed by the Frost family.
Yeah.
I think
And
that
everybody else signed NDAs.
Correct. And I think that something is very amiss here in the state of Georgia when you have the leader of the Republican Party not saying anything, being very quiet, mum's the word, and the Secretary of State, who is probably one of the most unethical and hated people across America, especially by Republicans, and having little to no integrity, he has more integrity to stand up and say the monies need to be returned immediately to the receiver of First Liberty that's handling it all, whether you're a politician, a PAC, whatever, from any Frost family member, First Liberty Building and Loan, and then any other related entities, the money needs to come back. So you're telling me that a man with no integrity who played a role in the 2020 stolen election has more integrity than Josh McCoon to even say that these people need their money back? I mean, and
that's a little disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, that's very, very disturbing. That Brad Raffensperger has more credibility and integrity than Josh McCoon right now in this situation.
All right, Kylie, hang on one sec. Go ahead, Antonio.
You have to relay this to Kylie.
Okay.
The fact that the Kaufman's firm, now that I'm listening to this, was hired is so that the information that has to do with this case or whatever is going on can flow freely in a circle in one room and potentially back to the chairman.
Yes, Antonio just brought up a great point. He said the fact that the Kaufman was the lawyer in the case makes it very easy for all the information to stay in that little circle, to stay inside.
Georgia GOP.
Not get out, get a lot of exposure. So, absolutely. Well, Kylie?
I think it was more about that than the actual money exchange.
Yeah, probably about the control of the information. So,
yeah.
You still there, Kylie?
I am.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to let you go because we're going to have to wrap up here. Both me and him got to work tomorrow. But
yeah, I'm sorry. I just called in, but I thought you guys wanted to.
I think it's great.
To know that. So
look, I mean, obviously
thanks for what
we're
y'all are doing. You're both awesome. We love you, and keep going.
Hey, we're watching you.
Kylie got a birthday next week.
Yeah, you got a birthday next week?
Well, this week it's on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Oh, Lord.
On Wednesday.
Okay. Lord, well, we're going to wish you a happy early birthday.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being out there fighting. Just, thank you. Yes, I'm going to let you go, but thank you for everything you're doing, okay?
Thank you. Talk soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye. I want to say something about Kylie because, I feel the same way. I know Kylie has got that Fire X, and she is just bringing all the information and all of these things. But again, what are we asking, Antonio? What are you and me doing up here? I don't have my hand out begging for something. I'm not asking for money or a loan. What I want is for things to be right. I want the common sense. I want to do the best thing that we can do and include as many people as we can, strengthen. And what I'm seeing is a group, the country club mentality where you're not supposed to be here. The George Carlin, it's a big club and you ain't in it. And again, are all of those people, is that they're just looking for the next stair to step up?
That's it. That's what they looking for. It's
I
this
mean,
is what they want, even over the future for their children. That's why some of these people, I respect them, but I have no respect beyond high and by and being in cordial. I see Angel Rosario. Shout out to Angel.
oh,
That's why
yeah,
people like Angel, who wants to, get out in the different communities and expand the party.
yeah.
They don't really want that.
You mean
They'll
like
tell
Sophia
him that, oh
Farouk?
yeah, come just bring your people. But hey, there's more people that's gonna come through that door and say, hey, what are y'all doing? That's
That's
two
right.
questions. What are y'all doing? And where the money at?
Yeah, I have
They
not.
don't want they don't want it.
I don't think I've even talked to Angel Rosario yet, but I plan on it. If you're out there, Angel, I'm getting closer and closer to us having a conversation. I'd love to have you on the show. I hear nothing but great things about what you're doing. And again, these are the same people that are just calling it out like it is. Look, if I was a family member of the Frost, all right, I would probably take a step back out. Right? We just read that tweet and just be like, you know what? Because we get preached at all the time. 2026, it's the end of the world. We got to. Well, this is not helping. I think I would exit the situation. If I'm being looked at as an enemy, okay, for just coming out here asking questions and begging people to do the right thing. Can you imagine how crazy that is when we're allowing this kind of stuff to take place in the party? We've got to stop it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if they resigned, Roy. I
Yeah.
mean, just the hubris that we saw at the convention. I mean, you
Yeah.
know what I told you
yes.
or whatever, but I don't think they resign. I just think that they go down as they were saying the band was playing as the Titanic ship went
Right.
down. I just think they will have to be almost literally pried from power.
Well, you said it yourself at the beginning. The doors blew off of that convention. We were there when it happened. And
They did.
boy, what kind of providence is that to be sitting here a month later?
Yeah.
Wow.
It just felt like terror going through that
It did.
building.
Oh, yeah.
During that time, people
Yeah.
was literally running inside
Yes.
of the building because we didn't know what was finna happen. We know if the whole building was finna
Oh,
get
no.
blown away,
No, you're
but the
right.
doors were blown off literally on that door. And I said, man, there's something to this, Roy.
Yes.
And it's a shame. That's like even right now. I mean, Roy, we have a lot of conversations,
Mhm.
and because people have used the God's name in vain. I mean, I'm apprehensive about saying, hey, God wasn't pleased right now. But this is kind of stuff that's been going on in the party. Oh, Jesus this and Jesus that, older Lord. Like, you can look at people and judge them by the fruit,
That's right.
by the decisions they make and what they uphold and what they won't stand up for,
Well, yeah.
and how they treat people and all of that kind of stuff. But they run around paying want to put Jesus and own everything. In front of people don't believe
Right.
that.
Well, it's
You
like
know, it's
the
embarrassing.
Frost family. I mean, I'm not judging these people. I don't know their hearts. I don't know, but when sometimes it seems like in politics, people use the religion as a crutch to
Yeah,
hide
and I think they
behind.
said the Frost family used it in the bank
They
situation.
used it in the bank, and they kind of preyed on church members. I mean, look, there's a obviously. I have to remind. I mean, not that I try to remind people. But I grew up in my adult life mostly an atheist. I know that there's a God. That God has saved me, and the reason that I'm here now. Of course, you get people like Will Jones that incorporates. That's real. But when you're out here running these Ponzi schemes and you're using God to do it, people are going to see that, and they can see right through it, So that's all I'm going to say, man. Everybody, you know your own heart, and you make your own peace with the Lord, But all we want is the truth. We just want things to be right. That's it, man.
That's it. I'm mad. I'm mad. We got to be here right now.
I know. Tell me about
You're
it.
a
My
musician.
wife is mad. We got to be.
You make music. You like to write songs and stuff, and you play,
Yeah.
drums and
You know-
different instruments. And about me too. And
I got to thinking about that today. I just wrote that new song to put in the front, and I thought, well, that's a little bit dark. But I was thinking today, is it already over? And I'm like, right now it feels like it's already over. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I think I speak for a lot of how we feel. Like, nobody understands what the heck is going on right now. We just want it to be over. We live our lives from one gaslit situation or calamity to another.
It is.
And it's almost too much to bear. And last week, that Epstein stuff just got me, guys. We're going to get it out of our system a little tonight. I'm not going to stop talking about Epstein, and I'm also not going to stop supporting Trump, for God's sakes. We are in a much better place than we've ever been. But again, Antonio has said it time after time. I've said it. We've got the keys to the golden age here, and we've got people in place to do it. We have to hold these people accountable. We have to hold each other accountable in order to do this. And we're not doing it in Georgia. And right now, these last couple of weeks, it doesn't feel like we're doing it in America. So
that's true.
Back. But
you're right.
So there is a ton of comments that we're not going to get to. I just want to shout out a couple of people. Loves you too. Penny Holt, Lisa Adams, my homegirl, of course, Bill, Charles Stoker, Trish Ann Hay, William, Real
Lisa
Viking Dude. Yeah. Yes, okay. Lisa's on here. Yes, she is. I didn't even tell Lisa. Christina Benjamin, she is awesome. There's so many good people.
Suzanne, I see.
Yes. Shadow TS, don't even know who that is, but man.
Jennifer. See you, Jennifer.
Yes. Awesome, awesome people. And Jan Weaver's on tonight. Good to see Jan. I'm going to go back through the comments so that we can.
My guy, Charles Stoker, in the building.
Oh, God, Charles. I am going to do, Jennifer White. That's my homie, Jennifer Tudor. We're gonna interview Charles soon. Charles deserves an interview. He's a very polarizing figure, but he deserves a good sit down. And I'm scared. Oh, Nikki Lee from South Georgia. Good to see you, Nikki. She's great. She's a podcast down there in Rincon, Georgia. Hardy Strongbear Taylor. Susan Haddad. Woo! Look at that.
Christina.
Awesome.
Christina Benjamin. We got Trish Ann Hay.
Rebecca Bennett. Good to see you. Y'all are what makes the show. I appreciate it. And so does Antonio, man. We're very blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Ron Tucker. All right. Ben Perkins.
Mike
so many
Crawley.
good people. Yes.
See Mike down there.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yep. A lot of great people
Stuart
on here,
Griffin,
man. Fighting.
Angel Rosario, man. I can't wait. I'm saving that. As everything happens for a reason. One of these days we're going to be on the phone talking, and we're gonna. There's Janice. So let's take to Janice's comment, and then we'll stop the stream because she says I've repeatedly asked for the Debbie Dooley video to present my base. I've yet to receive it. I've requested the video as it was made without anyone else's commentary or personal feelings. That, combined with the recent findings on the Frost family, needs to be put in front of the general population of voters. It does not matter who knows them or who likes them. Personal opinions do not get anything done. People need to see the absolute facts. Republicans are known for being independent, common-sense thinkers. The facts of the behavior in our party need to be seen by all the voters. And as far as the Debbie Dooley behavior, why are people not crying for her to step down? As for the lieutenant governor, please call his office and make an appointment. Debbie Dooley. Look, I don't like to even keep bringing her up, but I call her ankle biter Dooley. All right, the woman. I don't know what her problem is. I really don't, but I can't even take somebody like that seriously. I just can't. So, it's not even worth my time because you know what? It's a free country, and Debbie's going to be Debbie, and I'm going to be me, and we don't ever have to cross our paths. But she's not going away. It's the same thing I try to remind people in this game. This is a game. You can dislike people all you want, but it doesn't mean that they're going to go away or just disappear in thin air, right? They're going to be still doing their thing. We're going to still be doing our thing, and maybe, just maybe, one of these days we can meet in the middle of some of these people. You know how proud it would be if Josh McCoon actually came out and did the right thing and said, hey, we're going to get in front of this and we're going to do an audit right, and immediately people would start respecting him.
It would make me and Roy irrelevant.
Yeah,
please make us irrelevant so we can go. Spend a little. What they say when they get in the boot or something. They're spending more time with family.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be up here. Doing all this. It has to be done.
Yeah,
it has to be. And I'm telling you, and some of these other ones, like I said, not naming names, but you do a 20-minute segment on election integrity in Georgia, and you don't even mention Dominion voting systems. No. You guys got the problem there. There's something wrong there. Okay. But again, so Antonio, I want to thank you so much for being with me tonight. We were talking earlier, and I was like, man, I've got all this bottled up in me, and you was like, let's do it. So I appreciate you.
Yep, I appreciate it, man. Small town. That's always a pleasure to be on with your audience and everything on here.
Yes, sir.
Great group of people.
I think I'll be on with you Wednesday. And guys, I hope everybody that's still here, because we got a good group in here. We're going to have Derek Grayson on the show Wednesday night. I think he's just going to be over the computer, but we're going to get to hear from the master, T-Mott. Can't wait for that. And like I said, thanks for hanging out with us. I mean, like, you guys are the reason that we do this. I love the comments and love keeping everybody in here and involved. And it's our responsibility to figure out how we move forward with this, right? Because we're seeing God kind of pull the veil back and show us who everybody is.
He is.
Right? And we're going to keep marching forward, and we're not asking for anything in return. What we want is for things to be right. And it doesn't mean that I'm right or Antonio's right or we're wrong. There is the way to do things, and there's a way not to do them. And we're seeing the way not to do things. And if you care more about, doing it your own way than you care about the principles or the party or anything else, then you are the person that's going to wreck this whole thing, right?
Yep.
So I don't know what else to tell you. But
that's right.
All right. So thank you for staying up with me, guys. It's been a blast. I'll see y'all Wednesday night, and I'll see you Wednesday on War Room. And you all have a wonderful evening. And we'll get.
Hey, y'all, real quick.
Oh yeah, you get the last word. You get the last word.
I was gonna tell the people, make sure they make a contribution, because I forget to do it too. So I'm gonna do it for you, Roy. Make sure you guys make a contribution to Roy's podcast, Small Town Underground. It's Give, Send, Go / Small Town Underground. Whatever you can give. If you ain't got to give, just hit the share button. If you got a little sum, 5, 10, whatever you want to give, it just helps out. He's running the podcast. It's incidentals and expenses, a few things that's associated with trying to keep this thing going and making it better. And helping him is helping me. It's helping all of us. So we appreciate that.
And same with Antonio. Where can people go to donate to you, Antonio?
I don't even know my link.
Well, we're gonna get it in the comments.
It's at the top of. If you go to War Room,
yeah,
warroomga.com, or either you can go on our X account. The link should be up there. We got a Cash App or whatever. So if you guys want to contribute something there, that always helps. Richard has been one of my faithful supporters on that side. And it's one more lady. Let me see if I can find her so I can give her a shout out. Maybe I won't be able to. No, I won't be able to put it up on this phone. But we appreciate y'all's support.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have Roy on the show Wednesday, and John Gordon will also be on the show, and a couple other surprise guests. So it should be a blast on Wednesday.
Yeah, and we're not selling Liberty notes or anything like that. You donate your money here, then we're going to run our mouth and help support this whole movement. So, all right, guys, I'm going to play this commercial on the way out. I don't make anything off this commercial, but it does help a patriot out. And we're going to get out of here. We'll see you Wednesday night. Good night. Thank y'all.
Hey, everybody. Small Town Underground here, and I'd like for you to check out libertylaughs.net. This is a website that supports grassroots patriots, and it has all kinds of stuff in it, like rings, coins, t-shirts, tank tops, both in men's and women's sizes, different sort of accessories, even patriotic stuff. Like, look at these sneakers. Don't tread on me sneakers. Those are pretty cool. And door knockers. And look, they even have a Trump phone case, which is really, really cool. So anytime you go to this site, you're actually supporting the grassroots patriot community. So I hope you guys will go to check out libertylaughs.net and see what they have to offer.